Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Despite televisions, cell phones, and Twitter, traditional reading is still an important skill. Whether it is school textbooks, magazines, or regular books, people still read, though not as much as they used to. One reason that many people don't read much is that they don't read well. For them, it is slow, hard work, and they don't remember as much as they should. Students, for example, may have to read something several times before they understand and remember what they read. Why? You will think that schools teach kids how to read well. No doubt, televisions, cell phones, and also the web are major contributors to this problem, which will apparently get worse if we don't emphasize and improve reading instruction. Much of the blame for poor reading skills can be laid at the feet of parents who set poor examples and, of course, on the youngsters who are too lazy to learn how to read well. For all those who missed out on good reading skills, it is not too late. I may summarize below what I think it takes to read with good speed and comprehension. The first, know your purpose. Everyone should have a purpose for their reading and think about how the purpose is being fulfilled during the actual reading. The advantage for remembering is that checking continuously for how the purpose is being fulfilled helps the reader to stay on task, to focus on the more relevant parts of the text, and to rehearse continuously as one reads. This also saves time and effort because relevant items are most attended. Identifying the purpose should be easy if you freely choose what to read. Just ask yourself, why am I reading this? If it is to be entertained or pass the time, then there is not much problem. But my right other reasons could apply, such as number one, to develop an informed plan, and number two, to satisfy a requirement of an academic course or other assigned reading. Many of us have readings assigned to us, as in a school environment, or the boss may hand us a manual and say, "Here, we need you to read this." Whether the order comes from a teacher or boss, we need to ask, what do you want me to learn from this? In the absence of such guidance, you should still formulate your best guess about what you should learn and remember from the reading. And the second, some reading skim first. Some reading tasks require no more than skimming. Proper skimming includes putting an emphasis on the headings, pictures, graphs, tables, and key paragraphs, or which are usually at the beginning and the end. Depending on the purpose, you should slow down and read carefully. Only the parts that contribute to fulfilling the reading purpose. Even material that has to be studied carefully should be skimmed first. The benefits of skimming first are that the skimming, number one, primes the memory, making it easier to remember when you read it the second time. And number two, orients the thinking, helping you to know where the important content is in the document. And the last, number three, creates an overall sense and gestalt for the document, which in turn makes it easier to remember certain particulars. Browsing on the internet encourages people to skim read. The way content is handled on the web is even causing readers to make wider use of web devices, such as numbered or bullet lists, sidebars, graphics, text boxes, and sidebars. But the bad news is that the web style makes it even harder to learn how to read in depth. That is, the web teaches us to skim, creating bad reading habits for in-depth reading. And the last, the third, get the mechanics right. For in-depth reading, eyes need to move in this disciplined way. Skimming actually trains eyes to move without discipline. When you need to read carefully and remember the essence of large blocks of the text, the eyes must snap from one fixation point to the next in left to right sequence. Moreover, the fixation should not be one individual letters or even single words, but rather on several words per fixation. There are reading improvement machines that train the eyes to fixate properly, but few schools use them. Even with straightforward simple memorization questions, they often cannot remember because their focus on the words themselves kept them from associating what their eyes saw with their own pre-existing knowledge, and this facilitating remembering. I am not arguing against phonics, which in my view is vital for the initial learning of how to read. But phonics is just the first step in good reading practice. At some point, the reader needs to recognize whole words as complete units and then expand the capability to clusters of several words. Among the key tactics for good mechanics of reading, there are: number one, make eye contact with all the text not being deliberately skimmed. And then number two, see multiple words in each a fixation. And then number three, snap edge from one fixation point to another, or horizontal snaps on long lines, vertical snap if whole line in a column can be seen with one fixation. So the conclusion or the point is learning how to do this text practice. If you can't do it on your own, consider formal training from a reading center. In short, to remember what you read, you have to think about what the whole and what you know what is the meaning of the words. So that is the point. Okay, there are three clues or three tactics about reading to speed and comprehension. So thank you very much, and don't forget to happy, keep smile. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Remember when I told you no matter